What's up, everyone? Tera Roberts here with 444, and I've got 10 rookies that you should be drafting in 2023. There are clear and obvious rookies that we should be targeting in redraft. Bijan Robinson has legitimate top 3 upside. Jahmyr Gibbs has big potential in a role that we know has top 12 upside. And despite being the wide receiver 3 in Seattle, everyone still wants a piece of Jaxon Smith-Njigba. But beyond that, who should we be targeting in redraft? What rookies have strong upside and offer value for your fantasy team? At wide receiver, you have to start off with Jordan Addison. Addison unfortunately doesn't have wide receiver 1 upside. That's just not possible when you play opposite of Justin Jefferson. And drafters might be concerned about Addison's target share when you factor in a full season of TJ Hawkinson. But there's also KJ Osborne, who has shown huge upside at the end of the season, averaging 17.4 fantasy points per game weeks 14 through 18. He was literally wide receiver 7 in PPR over that time period. But I do still think that there is room for Addison to thrive in this offense. Minnesota's offense is a gold mine in fantasy football, and Jordan Addison is an interesting mid-round pick that could yield wide receiver 2 upside. Another option at receiver is Quentin Johnson. Johnson is a bit of a riskier pick because as of this moment, his ADP is a bit too high, but I suspect it will drop as we get further into training camp, making him more of a realistic value pick. Johnson was drafted into a clear wide receiver 3 role, unlike Addison, who should come out of the gate as wide receiver 2. But what I love about Johnston is he is playing behind Keenan Allen, who enters the season at 31, and Mike Williams, who has struggled with injury and consistency throughout his entire career. And Josh Palmer showed us last year that when you get the chance to step in as a primary target for Justin Herbert, magic happens. There is a big bounce back opportunity for Herbert this year, and Johnston has huge upside, huge, if Allen or Williams struggles. Zay Flowers is another sneaky option whose rise to first round draft pick was truly incredible. Flowers had 78 receptions for nearly 1,100 yards and 12 touchdowns in his senior year. Not bad for a guy that was playing for a legitimately awful Boston College team. This year, the Ravens will feature a new look offense under new offensive coordinator Todd Monken, and the result should be a better passing attack from Lamar Jackson. Mark Andrews will likely remain the primary pass catcher, and Rashad Bateman is still technically the wide receiver 1, but Bateman is still not practicing, and while we shouldn't panic, this could mean more opportunities for Flowers. Another option is tapping into Houston for a value play. Quite frankly, there's not a wide receiver room in the league that is less solidified in depth chart than the Houston Texans. Depth chart, snap count, target share, it is all up for grabs. And Tank Dell could pay off as a late round dart throw. Dell's ability is certainly not in question. Proven production, route running, speed, hands, he's got it all, except for size. He has absolutely none of that. He is extremely small, and we have yet to see someone of his size thrive at the NFL level. But if Dell can overcome his size, you can reap the fantasy benefits at an extremely discounted rate. And one more receiver to look at is Puka Nacua. Nacua has been a hot name in rookie dynasty drafts for those looking for value past the first couple of rounds. And Nacua is definitely talented for sure, but there is another reason why people are being very bullish on him. Beyond Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee, there's genuinely no third receiving option in this offense. Van Jefferson has never finished higher than a low-end wide receiver 3, and he may never be more than that. Ben Skoranek simply is not capable of being a big producer, and Tutu Atwell has not shown the ability to be more than the occasional deep threat. Nacua could be a very deep value pick that pays off. I've got some running backs for you as well. The first guy to keep your eye on is Kendre Miller. Miller is a bit of a tough guy to include on this list because his upside hinges on several items. 1, his value is specifically tied to the potential suspension for Alvin Kamara. And 2, he is not participating in minicamp because he's still recovering from a knee injury. He's supposed to be ready for training camp, so he is someone that we have to monitor. But if there are no injury concerns and if Kamara does face a suspension, this backfield would belong to Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller. Miller is an extremely well-rounded player that thrived on the ground in college and was a strong contributor through the air as well. But a late-round option with less risk involved is Tank Bigsby. The Jags don't want Travis Etienne to see an aggressive workload, and Bigsby could be a goal line contributor and at the very least a high upside handcuff. It's not uncommon to see a running back drafted and people shout from the rooftops that he is going to cut into the current RB1's workload. We saw it last year with people who completely wasted a pick on Isaiah Spiller and Zamir White, thinking that they would cut into the opportunities for Austin Eckler and Josh Jacobs, only for those backs to finish literally as RB1 and RB3 overall. But I think there's more validity remedy to this situation with Bigsby, and he's someone that we should be targeting in drafts. In 2022, we saw 7th round draft pick Isaiah Pacheco and 5th round draft pick Tyler Algier fall into ideal landing spots and thrive. Could this year's late round darling be Chase Brown? Possibly, don't get me wrong here. Joe Mixon is still the clear starter, and I'm not saying that this is going to be a split backfield, but aside from the one insane 5-touchdown game last year, Mixon's efficiency was dreadful last season. And Cincinnati was clearly teetering on the edge of moving on from Mixon during the offseason. So while the Bengals are committed to Mixon for now, the leash is very short. Brown will be a high upside handcuff with receiving upside. He could also fall into potential standalone role as well, similar to how the Bengals used Samaje Perine in 2022. And finally, for now, Khalil Herbert is the late round value pick out of the Chicago Bears backfield and likely to have first rights to the lead role in Chicago. And as we get closer to August, his ADP is going to shoot through the roof. But there's a couple of problems here. Chicago's backfield will likely operate as a committee, and neither Herbert or D'Onta Foreman have the skill set to operate as a third down back. But Roschon Johnson's pass protection and his hands are two of his better assets. If Johnson can gain a role as the third down back, he could earn a regular spot in the rotation. He could be a strong late round handcuff. Thank you so much for watching this video. Comment below and let me know what rookies you are targeting this year. Be sure to subscribe and like this video and stick around for more fantastic off-season content.